Hello everyone. Sci-fi and thriller movies keep the viewers glued to their seats. Why is it so? Use of animation and VFX effects help to create realistic visuals and appeal to the masses. As it is said, seeing is believing. The visuals make the theme relatable to the audience and get imprinted in the collection of their memories. Let's take another real life simple situation. Suppose you wish to learn to fly a kite. You have two options. First, read and memorize the steps from a textbook. Second, you learn it by actually going outdoors and try doing it. In both the scenarios, the outcome will not be as per your expectation. What could be the reason for this? Option A just provides you with theoretical knowledge, whereas in option B, you have no textual knowledge. So, what is needed? A blend of textual and practical knowledge. This forms the basic principle of experiential learning. You may ask, what is experiential learning? It is a student-centric educational methodology that revolves around hands-on experiences and reflection. One can even say that it is experience the learning. We all must have heard or read this quote, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn." These lines by Benjamin Franklin form the fundamentals of experiential learning. Observe these two pictures and analyze the difference between the two. In the first one, we observe that the classroom setting doesn't promote active participation of the students. There is no scope of learning through experimentation and self-reflection. Result: the learners seem to be disinterested and only a few children seem to be attentive. According to you, will the children enjoy the learning process? Certainly no. And obviously, retention would be limited. Have a look at the other picture. What things make this classroom setting student friendly? First is the group activity that involves all the children. Second, there is a lot of scope for experimentation, keeping in mind the diverse interests of the learners, and most importantly, happy faces of children indicate active participation of the learners. So we see that in the conventional classrooms, passive learning is a norm, and this really doesn't instill any creativity in the learners. Whereas a learner in the modern classroom is not merely a listener but an active participant of the teaching learning process. And the cherry on the top is that teachers also benefit from experiential learning, as they can further customize their teaching techniques as per the requirements of the classroom. Let's learn more about experiential learning, the innovative teaching pedagogy in order to build positive and engaging classrooms. In this pedagogy, lesson plans and activities are tailored, keeping in mind the interest and strengths of all four types of learners. We all are aware about the four types of learners. Can you quickly recollect them? Let me give you some picture clues. The first type of learners are visual learners. They process the information through graphs and charts and prefer graphic elements over words. Next are auditory learners. These type of learners learn best when information is spoken and prefer lecture and discussion. Third type of learners are kinesthetic learners. They learn best through tactile processes and process information by recreating and practicing. And the last ones are linguistic learners, who prefer to receive written words, enjoy reading and writing assignments. Delving further into the topic, let's also check out the main 4 components or the 4 steps of experiential learning. They are concrete experience, second, reflection, and the third, abstract conceptualization, and the fourth, active experiment. Let's understand each of them separately. The first, concrete experience, that is learning by doing the task. The first step involves an active participation of students in learning activities as they get hands-on experience on problem-solving tasks. Second, reflection. It refers to the personalized reflection and observation about an experience. The learners use the lens of their experience and understanding to reflect on what this experience means. In groups or individually, they review and reflect on the process. Abstract conceptualization forms the third component. This step involves critical thinking. The learners form new ideas or adjust their thinking based on the experience and their reflection about it. The fourth component, active experiment, that is the planning. Here the students modify existing concepts and formulate techniques to be taken care of when attempting the same task all over again. It is an attempt to minimize the errors. So we see that this cycle of learning is dynamic and gets repeated in different contexts and surroundings. And each time it adds to a learner's experience. Let's further understand this experiential learning pedagogy with a real life example. Suppose you wish to bake a cake. To know the steps of baking it, you would either look up into a recipe book or watch an instructional video. Another method is you could get the ingredients and start doing it all by yourself. So this is your first step, wherein you do the task. Second step would be the reviews and feedback that you receive along with your own first-hand experience. You observe and record the hits and misses of the entire procedure. This step enables you to have a better understanding of the whole process. So this is the second component of the experiential learning, that is reflection. In the third step, abstract conceptualization, you modify and devise new ways to bake a cake perfectly, taking into consideration your findings of step 2. You will retain those steps of baking that went well and rectify your errors. And the last one would be to implement the modified steps to bake a perfect cake. By following the above steps, you have striven to be a perfect baker. And the best part, you receive compliments for doing a great job. Remember, this cycle is an ongoing process and improvisation keeps on taking place as one keeps on adding to his experience. Can you arrange the pointers of experiential learning in the correct order? The correct order is: do the task. Second, reflect. Third, analyze. And the last is improvise to implement. Another interesting example is the launch of Chandrayaan 3. The first step was the launch of Chandrayaan 2. Second was the reflection of what went wrong. Third was to analyze the entire process and redesign it. And the last was to launch Chandrayaan 3 with desired modifications. Well, one may ask, why is this methodology effective? The answer is active engagement of learners facilitates deep learning and encourages mistakes. That is, it offers experimentation, room for errors, and how to learn from them as well. The learners do not have to worry about the failures, but these serve as stepping stones to enhance the learning. Some more benefits of experiential learning are: it provides the students with the skills required for real-life success. Opportunity to showcase creativity. Critical analysis leads to better understanding of the concepts. Encourages personalized learning in students. Nurtures team spirit and enhances attention span. And above all, it makes learning fun. Next question that arises is how to do it. What can be the various ways of incorporating this pedagogy in a classroom? There are a number of activities that can be carried out while explaining a topic. Some of these activities are field trips, games, storytelling, model building, hot seat, experiments, role plays, flipped classroom, surveys, nukkad natak, narratives, video making, puzzles, peer teaching, art and sports integrated activities, guest speaker programs. These are just some suggestive topics. The teachers can devise many more activities after discussing and brainstorming with the students. This will ensure 100% participation and commitment of the students. This is what we as teachers aim for, isn't it? Now that we have discussed about the activities that can be done, the question that arises is, what about the resources for these activities? The best resources are those that are found within the classroom space, such as the students themselves, their 5 senses, stationery, colored sheets, appropriate seating arrangement, board, etc. Remember, resources found within the school premises such as the green spaces, computer and maths labs, etc. are also very important resources. Now comes the task of planning an activity. For this, we need to know the elements of experiential activity. So the essential components of a lesson plan based on experiential learning are: first, select a unique and fascinating topic, or we can say an appropriate learning context. Second, identify the specific skills and knowledge that you wish to instill in the learners. Third, keep students' interest and aptitude in mind. Basically, it should promote inclusive learning. Fourth, simple resources that are readily available in the classroom. This we had discussed earlier also. Fifth, fair assessment. A teacher should be observant to analyze and assess students' learning and assess if a change is required in the teaching pattern. Last is evaluation. It is essential to evaluate learners' understanding of the taught concepts. These pointers form the broad outline or the framework of lesson plans. Keeping the essence of experiential learning in mind, these steps can be altered, tweaked to suit the cultural and social context of a classroom. The thumb rule is the lesson plan should be student-centric. In the last step, the learners will implement their learnings. Let's take a look at another case study. You wish to teach the students the process of germination in class. Before you begin with this topic, you would be testing the learners' previous knowledge about plants, their favorite flowers, the reasons for being the favorites, the seasons they bloom in, etc. Next would be to sow some seeds in a disposable container that is filled with soil. The children will place this near sunlit area in the classroom and water it regularly. They will be asked to observe and record their observations daily. This would be the second step of experiential learning, that is reflection. Some observations would be number of seeds that germinated, the growth pattern of the saplings, care of saplings, and condition of the surroundings. Then you will analyze and conceptualize your findings, like what extra care or changes should be done for better results in future. Was proper sunlight reaching the plants? Was this the right season to sow the seeds? A sample observation table is here to record the observations, which can be altered to suit the requirements of a topic and an activity. Can you suggest how can we incorporate learning of other subjects in this activity? Well, we can include ratio and proportion topic of mathematics. We can ask the learners to research about the places that will be favorable for this species to grow. For history, we can teach about the origin of this plant and its importance. Moreover, we can talk about the food habits of people in different areas. Market study, price of the produce, cost of investment and profit can be covered in commerce. In English, poems, prose that deal with nature can be included. Art enactment In this, the students create a vegetable market scene to relate to their real life experiences. Interdisciplinary approach epitomizes the significance of experiential learning in classrooms. It not only builds team spirit but also enriches interpersonal skills of the mentors and the mentees. Another obvious question that arises is, what should be the role of a teacher? The teacher's role should be of a facilitator in the process of learning. The learners must take the lead to learn while the teacher gently guides. The teacher should ensure learners' empowerment. A teacher as a facilitator promotes self-exploration among the learners. Let's now recap our learnings. Which statement is correct in reference to experiential learning? It's necessary to go on field trips to integrate experiential learning. Second, experiential learning is an outdated methodology. Third, experiential learning creates happy classrooms. And fourth, NEP doesn't promote experiential learning. The answer is statement number 3. Experiential learning creates happy classrooms. Come, let's take a quick glance at some FAQs. Can experiential learning provide a pathway for remedial classes? How? Experiential learning enables the teachers to know if there is any need to modify the teaching strategies to suit the diverse learning styles of the learners. Question number 2. Does it make the classroom transaction time longer? Absolutely no. If planned well and amalgamated with the lesson, it is neither time consuming nor is cumbersome. And the last one is, what are the possible ways of assessing experiential learning? The answer to this question is, some tools of assessment are rubrics, anecdotes, peer assessment, self-assessment, and self-reflection. However, teachers can also frame and design their own evaluation tools too. Before we conclude the topic, have a look at the key points of this session. Experiential learning is a pedagogy to make educational environment student-centric. Let students control their learning. Enable students to think critically, evaluate, make decisions, and construct knowledge. Make learning experience cooperative, collaborative, and independent. Bridge gap between theory and practice. I hope this session must have presented some clarity about experiential learning. Let's together make our classrooms happy classrooms. Thank you, and we shall meet again with another meaningful topic. Happy experimenting.